Thank you. Good afternoon. We can all talk about clean energy, but what truly matters is the ability to deliver clean energy in a way that creates jobs. My members know this. McKinstry is creating these game-changing projects. McKinstry has spent the last 50 years driving waste and inefficiency out of buildings. The company has developed a unique capability to design, build, operate, and maintain the projects that it creates and guarantee, yes, guarantee, that its projects will deliver the results expected by its clients. The firm advocates collaborative, sustainable solutions designed to ensure occupant comfort, improve systems efficiency, reduce facility operational costs, and optimize profitability in line with its company motto, the life of your building. Under the leadership of CEO Dean Allen, McKinstry has grown to over 1,600 professional staff and tradespeople nationwide. In addition to leading McKinstry, Dean also serves on boards for the Seattle Biomedical Research Institute, Global Partnerships, the Program for Appropriate Technology and Health, PATH, Seattle Children's Hospital, and the Washington Roundtable's Partnership for Learning. Please join me in welcoming my friend and friend of the Sheet Metal Workers International, McKinstry CEO, Dean Allen.
Well, thank you, Charlie, and thank you all for being here today. It's an honor and a privilege to be here with a group of business leaders and environmental leaders and union leaders to talk about what we can do about the environment and what we can do about getting folks back to work. I'm going to try and share some thoughts that come from a business person's standpoint, but before I do that, perhaps a little bit of background. I came to McKinstry 33 years ago. I had been a ditch digger and carried channel locks in my pocket, my back pocket as a kid, putting myself through school. But I was trained as a biochemist, as a geneticist, and I came to McKinstry for a part-time stint 33 years ago to save up money to go back to graduate school and earn a PhD in genetics. But it turned out that the design and construction business was really fun, and I forgot to leave. So 33 years later, I come to you encouraging you to forget Joe the plumber and think about Dean the plumber from Seattle, and what a company can learn from 50 years of 50 years of doing great work in the communities that we work in, and I'm proud to be a sheet metal worker, an electrician, and a carpenter, and a biochemist all in one. My father, George Allen, started McKinstry 50 years ago this year. He was an engineer and was a bit of a non-traditionalist. He loved to ask really hard questions and take on bold initiatives. We started with 5 employees in a shop in Seattle, plumbing employees. As Charlie mentioned, today we have 1,600 employees in 17 offices operating in 15 states and more to come. We are also a proud union employer and partner. We have more than 1,000 craftsmen and women working at McKinstry and calling McKinstry home. We have agreements with the sheet metal workers, the plumbers and pipe fitters, the electricians, the laborers, and so on, more than 100 different labor agreements. While it's not in my script, I want to point out, and as Charlie and I were talking earlier, since we go back 30 years together to when we were younger in this industry, that we're not only proud to be union, we're a union for all the right reasons in our industry, because it adds values to our customers, does the right things by our workers, and helps us be successful. So we're not doing this for patriotic reasons, although we are patriotic. And I learned this strategy on the job at McKinstry. I wasn't trained as a business person, I was trained as a scientist. And we endeavored to build a company that was built to last. And at McKinstry, we like to think that McKinstry is here to serve the people who work at McKinstry, not the other way around. We proudly tell our customers that at McKinstry they are number 2, right behind our employees who are number 1. And it's not that we don't love our customers, we do. It's just that we can't do the great work that they need us to do if we don't put our people first and foremost. And lastly, we are not interested in in a profit-first approach. For us, it's our people, it's our customers, and it's the communities that we live in. And we are probably more proud than anything of the great philanthropic and community service work that we do in the towns that we work in. And over the last 50 years, just so you can understand the perspective we bring to energy efficiency in America, we worked hard to build a company that is in the planning business, that's in the design business, that's in the fabrication business, that's in the installation business, that's in the commissioning business, and the servicing business, and the retrofit business, and the remote monitoring and active energy management business. So our objective is to have our people, our great union crafts folks, whether they are involved in the planning, fabrication, installation, servicing, or retrofitting of the buildings, be able to service that for our customers for the life of the building, but also for us to get the knowledge and the insight and the data so we know how to make these buildings work better and make them perform better in an environmental way for our customers and our communities. And we call this approach DBOM, Design, Build, Operate, Maintain. And it's really that 50 years of experience and more than $5 billion of projects that we have performed from cradle to cradle that gives us the insight into what I'm going to try and point out to you today. Three main issues I want to cover. First, in order for us to live in the new clean economy that is in front of us, we need to have skilled and innovative workers, and those workers need to both dream up, engineer, plan, and create systems and widgets and tools and processes. And it's about a highly educated professional workforce, which is about 30% of the folks that are at McKinstry. But it is equally about skilled, quality crafts folks that can design and fabricate and install and service these systems. And at the heart of both of those pipelines of talent is STEM education in our K-12 system, preparing every kid in America to be able to participate in this economy, whether they choose to be a craftsperson or a professional. Secondly, there is a $1 trillion opportunity, putting energy retrofit projects in place in the non-residential marketplace in America. And these projects are revenue neutral, meaning that they have a return on investment. And we are wasting time not attacking this market. Third, as union leaders and business leaders and environmental leaders, we need to think about this differently, and we need to come together in new alliances and new cooperative ways to take advantage and seize the moment, not take action, not talk about what ought to be done in the clean economy. And you'll hear in a second about what we're doing about that. So to dive into these issues, first I want to talk about STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And you might ask yourself, why would a plumber from Seattle spend half of his waking hours working on STEM education in the education systems in the communities that we work in? And the answer is that our workforce, our future, starts in the classrooms in America. And today, whether folks are heading in a union or a professional or a crafts role, they need great competency and to be challenged for excellence in STEM education. And we hear way too often about parents, unfortunately, counseling kids that are not doing well in math and science in the middle school years, that not every kid is going to be able to be a software programmer at Microsoft, or not every kid will be an aerospace engineer at Boeing. This is the community I live in Seattle. And those parents are failing their kids. And if you're an educator and you're trying to lower standards and you're trying to socially promote kids, whether they have competency or not, and you're lowering expectations of what these kids are capable of in math and science, you too are failing them. Because what I have learned in the last 30 years at my company is that whether you're going to be an engineer or a sheet metal apprentice, if you can't pass a rigorous math and science entrance exam, you're not coming to work at McKinstry. And the thing that hurts me the most in my job is when a young person comes into my office looking for an application for employment, thinking that they didn't need to master math and science and those capabilities when they were in high school because they wanted to work with their hands and they wanted to create things in the world, and they discover that they're not competitive for an apprenticeship position. It breaks my heart. And we're working hard to make a difference in that in our communities. Second, I want to talk about energy and the environment and this so-called $1 trillion market.